Hey guys, we are live and look
Hey, welcome, welcome.
and look
My
what I have
co-host.
here this week. Woof. I tell you, Shrek, I missed you last week. I tell you that much right now.
I missed myself last week.
I didn't do so good. I like was when we have our discussion because you usually have unique perspectives. I tell you that much. And hello to everyone watching. I know we got a few people. You could say in the chat, you could say hello, or you can chime in anytime you want. We'll answer your questions as we go along. Because today we are going to talk entertainment and educational purposes only. Hey, CM, how you doing? All right. And
Hey, CM. Thanks for joining.
yep, we're going to talk about today Chris Watts Survey 319. Kind of take
Well,
off from
someone
what
is from we're at San
San
Diego.
Diego. Oh man, I am jealous.
Yeah,
We were out. Where did go? We went LA last year.
San
Right?
Diego. I want to go to
San
San Diego. I
Diego.
want to go
I
there.
heard that's awesome. Oh my goodness. So yeah, hello. Thank you for joining. We really appreciate it. And after you got the chance to see our episode on the Survey 319. Now we did one a while back, I think in January, I think it was the original one. That was our first true crime episode. So it was a little shaky. It
Yeah,
was kind of long. And yeah, we're a new channel. We just started in January. So we're constantly trying to find ways to improve and get better. So and we will. We got a lot more cool things coming
yeah.
up.
We would love your input
But
as
that,
well.
yeah. And we did that one minute by minute and it got a lot of traction. And at the time, I didn't take everything from the court documents and most of it. And I wanted to revisit it. And we're going to talk about it a little bit even more so. And whoever's joining here, we want to get you guys weighed in too and ask your questions as well. Shrek, I
Exactly.
think I want to go off script a little bit and show this one particular slide from our show. And let me make sure that this is being displayed here. Bear with me, guys. Okay, cool. All right, let me.
Yeah, this is the 44 minute
Yeah, in the first video I ever
time
did, I said
estimate.
38 uninterrupted minutes, and it's somewhere between 38 and 44 minutes. It really
Right.
depends on because the court documents they're somewhat accurate. You know, they have one accounting of one time frame, another account. They try to use some of the cell phone data and all that. But let's see, did I? Okay, and okay. So I got it all here. So this is one of the things we can key off of, and then Shirok, I know you have some questions too. We want to go through.
Yes.
So basically, there was a time period in the middle where he had the most time to get things done because he got there to the site at a certain time, and by the time he would get his tools or wherever he need out of the truck, he would have to know exactly where to dig the hole. Now I think it was like 100 feet away, Shirok. So
Yes.
I mean, it's not like he must have been thinking about all this stuff or had it pre-planned in his mind or maybe on the way there what he was going to do. But it seemed like he picked a specific spot and he had to dig the hole. He said in the court documents 20 to 30 minutes. I assumed 20 minutes. He'd have to go back to his truck, get Shanann, bring her, either carry her, take her there, put her in. And it takes time to dig. People think to fill the hole takes 2 seconds. No, it takes a while. You got to shovel the dirt in there and make sure it's covered. And they said it was about 8 to 9 inches from above the top part of her body that was buried. So that takes, I assume 10 minutes, maybe take longer. Then he had to text back to Cody at one point during all this and take some kind of photo on his laptop. So he was distracted a little bit. I put a minute, but again, this is really conservative.
Right. And we're still not sure if he did it that day. I don't really think he
Exactly.
did.
And that's
So
what I want to get to. Yeah,
necessary.
Shirak's got
Yeah.
me covered. She knows she knows what I'm leading up to. So then then he had to take Bella and walk over to the West Tank, which is, I think was another 100 feet. And that's why I have up on top. It takes about 38 seconds to get to, walk 100 feet. But then he had to go up the tank. And I don't want to get into really specifics. It's disgusting. But basically, he had to go back and forth
Exactly.
with each
But
child.
I want to just pause on Bella for a
Mm-hmm.
minute.
Yep.
So Bella was in one of the tanks, right? It's called a hatchet tank. She's the oldest child, right? She's 4 years old.
Yeah, we're not sure what order he did this, but yeah.
Yeah, but still, it doesn't matter what order. I'm just saying when you have the girls, you said 4 and 4. I don't think that's was equal.
No,
Bella's older,
no.
may and I was like reading a lot of the information that they had.
Yep.
Basically, they said, he had a scratch on his neck. Maybe it came from Bella. I don't know what your guys think out there, but when they investigated
Oh, oh,
him,
oh, oh.
in investigation room, he had a scratch. So maybe she was fine. And then also with Bella, and he probably I think she was still alive and she was scratching, and then they noticed that they had hair, and of course it was only 8 inches this hole, and I always wanted to show that, and I actually had something. So the hole was this
Oh, wow.
was this
You have
size.
a visual.
Yes. So imagine in a 4-year-old body in this
I
size.
don't want to, it's one of those things that I don't want
This is
to
crazy.
overly I mean, that was a good I
Yeah.
don't think anybody's done that, Shrock, like actually showed the visual because
I want
it,
everyone to see
it
this
really
visual
hits
here
hard.
because imagine a 4-year-old head is going in a body.
Yeah,
For
that's
anyone
just
that have kids
disgusting.
at
I
home or
mean,
anyone that have nieces and nephews and kids, I mean, do you think a body can fit in something this size? Is my question.
yeah, exactly. And
So
you're
that's
right.
one of my
So
questions for today.
couple of things. One, I want to
Yeah.
say hi. Thanks, Donna. Thank you so much for nice nice comment about our channel. Thank you. That we really appreciate it. And then it's
Yes,
hard to
love
read. I'm
your
sorry. I need
channel.
a better I need a better setup.
That's
What's the name
Donna.
for it? I thought it took at least 4 minutes to smother alone. Never mind, walking up to tanks and supposed to buy. Oh, I agree. Donna,
Yeah, 4
thanks. I
minutes.
appreciate it.
Exactly.
Yep.
Donna
How can a
English.
4 you'd fit? Yeah, I mean, this is where I don't want to get too graphic, but he would have to like force and possibly, I don't know, break things, or
Right. So
I don't want to
inside
get
of
into too much gruesome detail. We're not about the gruesome aspects of the case, but unfortunately, I'm thinking that's probably what had to be done. And again, going back to those time frames, I was being extremely conservative to prove a point. Um, I
so
think it took
CM
some
said
time.
I wouldn't want to imagine that.
No,
I
no,
wouldn't
me,
want to
neither.
imagine that either.
Nope. And let me show you guys something here real quick. In our polling for our community, which thank you guys for voting. That's awesome. If you haven't, no worries. You can go out there and vote. But I threw a question out there after our episode saying, hey, listen, what do you guys think in terms of what Chris did on that morning at Survey 319? Do you think it was possible he did everything that morning? Like he got there, he went to town, maybe he dug a little faster, maybe knew exactly what he was doing, and he was able to just multitask? Or do you think he dug the hole in advance? A lot of people think that, which is possible, right?
Right. So we got the information on those, right?
Right. Because, he told his boss and stuff, oh, yeah, I'm going to go out to Survey 319 on Monday, right? So he could have definitely figured out a way to get out there and do something in advance. That's why he knew exactly where to go. And the last one was maybe someone else helped him either that morning or maybe before helped him. Like, and not to talk about another case, but just like the Duos case, like when Kent was trying to help dig the hole,
Right.
allegedly. So you guys voted,
Yeah,
and we
Kent
got at
Moore.
least 22 votes. And you guys feel that Chris had help from someone else that morning, either that morning or before, but somebody was helping him out ahead of time. Um, no way is it possible seeing me a normal man all of a sudden snapping into action like he did. Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, it's really hard for
No
he
way
would
it's
have to be
possible, yeah.
obsessing, and I don't understand. Like, what really bothers me, guys, is when his coworkers got there. I forgot her name, Melissa and
Kent. No, no,
no, Melissa and
I have Chad
Chad. Is it Chad
yep,
that was
and
got there?
Troy.
Troy, yeah, Troy came later, I think. Chad
Yep.
and Melissa. When
Yeah.
Chad and Melissa got there, they were saying he didn't look sweaty. He looked like to be his normal self. He wasn't whatever. So I mean, that definitely knows that. Yeah, obviously, by the time that I got there, he did everything.
But this is my question
Yeah,
with
go for it.
Chad and Melissa. Did he know that they was going to come like previous, like just say that weekend at Friday, or they just happened to pop up they actually communicated that Monday? You understand?
I don't know. I know that in the morning they touched base, so I think he knew that they were coming at some point.
Yeah, that morning, but what about previous?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't want to say for sure. Like if I don't know 100%, I won't say it. But I
yeah.
definitely know, and this is where when we go back to my
Because
timeline.
I'm just thinking, imagine, that he's doing that, and that was the interruption as they were coming. He didn't know they were coming until like an hour, in
Yeah.
that time. It's like, oh man, I'm doing this, and he's going to get caught, right? They're going to see him, so
Well, that's why I'm trying to find the right.
that can be an issue right there.
It's hard to see, guys. I apologize. Um, but
Yeah,
hold on
so
a second. Oh shoot. I have to multitask here. Let me
it says here, yeah, it's usually the same.
oh, I have to drag it over. Oh, I don't know if it, are we able to see it? Okay. Here, let me just blow it up. Sorry, guys. So if you could see here, this block of time right here, and this is roughly where Melissa and Chad shows up, somewhere between 8 a.m. and 8:24, roughly. This is what I'm saying. I think he's done doing everything by 7:40, because somewhere in here he has a call with Chad, and obviously he knows that they're on their way. They're very close. They went to the Bat Cave to get some tools or get whatever, and they were heading over. So and for him to be so composed, even if he had to change his clothes or wipe his face to get sweat, I don't think he would wait till the last minute. And they said he was kind of shoveling a little hole when they got there, near the spill site. So my gut feel he was done. I feel really, really. I know it's still subjective, but I feel pretty confident about that. So he would have to do everything in this 38 to 44-minute time frame,
Okay,
which
just
I
have a
just find.
yeah. And what about when they left? Did he stay there? Like he could have probably did something after, or no?
No, no, that he left afterwards. And what's interesting is based on the documentation, I mentioned this during the episode. When he got to the site, he parked near, he didn't
Yes,
park nowhere near the tanks.
about 100.
And based on the vehicle data, you could tell he didn't move his vehicle. So it was there. And that's what they said when he showed up. It was weird, really odd, because you wouldn't be parking over there. You'd be parking near, across the way. You'd be parking near the tanks because that's where the issue is. So it was really, really odd. Let's see what else would people say. No way did he do it all by himself in that short period of time. I agree. I don't think I don't think he did it.
Yeah.
At the very least, he had to like dig the hole ahead of time. Now I'm not familiar with the soil over there in that area, but even if it was really loosey goosey, and he even said out of his own mouth, "Oh, I think it took 20 or 30 minutes." So it must have, obviously in his mind, say it took a
Hmm.
while. They did say he parked oddly. Yeah, I remember that too. Yeah, it's in there. So they mention in the court documentation, but there's also supplemental documents of the transcript of the interview, and I've both listened to it and I've seen the document, just because sometimes when you read it, you get more of it.
Hmm.
So and there's some handwritten notes too, and yeah, they definitely said that that was very odd. Now Melissa didn't really quite get it too much off the bat because she was still new,
Yes.
but Chad and Troy definitely picked that up.
Yeah.
He said that we brought a shovel. Yeah. So what they're referring to is Chirac is during the interview. Chris said, "Oh, we brought a shovel." Which, why do you say we brought a shovel? It was just him, but he said we brought a shovel, so it was kind of like a Freudian slip
Yeah.
to say that's a good. Thank you for mentioning that. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, yeah. I think. And then my first video, Chirac, I don't know if you remember, I think I go through saying, is it possible? I know people get mad if they're pro NK, but it was possible NK or somebody, Jim or whoever, could have met him there and, dug the hole for him or got it or could have just met there to help and then got out of there in time. Yeah, he
Yeah.
slipped big
He slipped big
time.
time.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And again, that's a huge speculation. I hate to, we try not to speculate too much, but
Hmm.
if you look at the information, something had to been done ahead of time. I just don't. And then for him not to freak out, I mean, I don't want to think about it because I would never, obviously, we'd never do anything that odd. But yeah, how would you
That
horrific
gruesome. It's not just odd.
odd? horrific.
Terrible.
I don't even have
Exactly.
enough words to describe it.
Disgusting.
Yeah. I mean, how would he be so he would have to execute everything perfectly quickly, and he's multitasking at the same time. He's checking his phone, he's texting, he's doing this, and he's shoveling, and he's doing all this stuff with the tanks and the body, and it just I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. So, yeah,
Yeah, so
that's
there was also some discussion about the oil tanks. Like he must have known the percentage of the
oh,
oil,
I gotta bring up. Yeah, keep going, Shrock. I'm gonna bring something
the
up. I'm gonna
percentage
share
of the
something.
oil inside of the
Oops.
tanks, because that all matters too, you know.
Oh yeah,
Like if it couldn't have been full,
I am going to
because the oil would
find.
have been pushing out. It was just crazy with
There were
that.
this man a comment about
They would
NK.
have a phone from it says from ping they saw.
That's the when NK's phone pinged near Frederick, near Chris Watt's house that morning.
Oh yes.
And there was other channels that were, and I they brought up a good point. They were trying to use logic and say, well, geez, NK could go that way, or she could have went the other way. You know, there's
Yeah.
no proof. If anything,
Yeah, the phone ping, yep.
she most likely would
He
go
saw
that way
NK
because it's
phone.
faster. But I'm gonna show that. Bear with me, guys. I want to show you this in case you missed the episode I did on that whole. Remember, I did a whole
Yes.
episode on that,
Yeah.
just in case these folks who are on haven't seen it.
Yeah, that's an
Oh
interesting one to bring up
shoot!
as well.
Oh my goodness! It's like
Yeah, but those are some good points too.
I mean, oh yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, the Uncame pig. Yeah, I just want to show.
Well, you did say when I said ping on there.
Wait, I'm
That's
just trying to find
interesting.
that episode here. Ah, here it is. Okay, I want to bring it up. I like these. I love these questions because
She
it's
said
really
she didn't go to work though, and or didn't go to Frederick was shorter.
yeah. So check this out. I want to bring it up. I'll take
She
it from
said she
here.
didn't go to work. Yeah.
Okay, now I can share. Do, 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 do.
This is
Here we
awesome.
go.
This is awesome work.
Okay, so what I did, you gotta know I do IT for a living, so I'm very analytical. Okay, so I took all the cell phone data for the months that I had that was available through the court documentation, right? And what I did is on the red, you would see the route going towards Frederick to work. This is all NK cell phone information. And on the right is the green is where it would be away from Frederick. It would be going this other route. And some of the other channels that are, they're the ones that are more pro NK, which we're independent. We just try to call it the way it is. We're not,
Yeah.
And they were saying, well, logically, they would go this other way because, there's less traffic lights and stops and all that. So, which is
Yeah.
logic, but I want to use the real data. So, what was interesting is, now let me fast forward here. NK's morning travel, afternoon travel. But we found patterns.
Yeah.
And the
when he was
patterns,
away, he was
yeah, the pattern was before when the family's still alive, is when Chris was in Colorado and the family's in North Carolina. You could see that NK went towards went towards Frederick in the morning. I'm trying to remember all this, and then came back, not through Frederick, on the way home, and then in the part
when
where
all of the whole family was in North
the
Carolina.
family was in North Carolina,
And also Chris Watt.
NK did go. Did go the other way. I know. I have to think of this, away from Frederick. So in other words, when Chris was in Colorado, she would go the way of Frederick when he was there. When he wasn't there, she would tend to go the other way, east, away from Frederick. Okay, and then unfortunately, we don't have a lot of data for when everybody was back in Colorado. But what we do have is in the morning, that one fateful day, the big day, she did go the way of Frederick. So when people say, "Oh, she never went that way before," that's incorrect. Her pattern, and I know it's only limited data, so I know it's only 3 months, but the limited data we have is when Chris was around,
Yeah.
she would go that way. But when he wasn't around,
around.
she would tend to go the other way.
Okay.
And there could be other reasons, right? I mean, sometimes people say, "Oh, I like that Dunkin' Donuts in that direction, so I'm going to hit that one and go that way to work." I don't know, but I thought this was interesting information, so I wanted to bring that up because when people say, "Oh, she never went to Frederick," or the vice versa, if she said, "Oh,
Mhm.
that was unusual," no, it wasn't. She went that way before, so it's very suspicious that yeah, she happened to go by Frederick on that day
Mhm.
because not to be too funny, Schrock, but like on the first block when he was in Colorado and the family was away, they were hooking up any way they could. From
Yeah.
what I could tell, they were banging left and right. Is sorry to be funny, but they were hooking up
Yeah, they
a
were seeing
lot
each
from what I.
other more.
So they were probably trying. Who knows? But on the way, on when they were all home, what would be the reason why she would go to Frederick? It's kind of odd. Some people say, "Oh, maybe it was just to check in and see if he's really home," and all. I don't know. But the bottom line, that was a good observation about the phone ping. I had to bring that up though. Hope you guys don't mind. So that was cool. Oh, well, I don't want more things. Um,
Yeah.
if they would have ran her phone pings and Sutton K, yeah, they murder. She said she didn't go to
Work.
work through. So where did she go through? Frederick was shorter. Yeah,
She didn't go to work. Where did she go?
it's weird because
That
the
is a good
way,
question too.
yeah, the way east. From what I was told, I didn't do the Google. Some other channel did. I was watching another channel. They said, "Oh, if she went east, it would actually theoretically be faster. No, be slower because there was more traffic lights and the speed limit. But going the way of Frederick would be faster or something like that." Yeah. So that's why I went from the phone data. I was trying to figure out what her pattern was, and that was
Mhm.
the patterns that we fall. So I wanted to share that because that was an interesting part of the conversation there. Um, so Shirak, what other questions you have? Because I've been
No, yeah.
jibber
So
jabbering.
yeah, so it was just the question. Of course, it was like I know when he did Shanann, how did he do the girls? Did he do head first or feet first? Usually, we thinking that
I don't
he
know.
actually did the head, like he had the
We don't. Yeah,
Stella.
we don't
He did the
know.
head first. Usually, they said that so he can actually fold the arms and actually get them in there. That just just something I was like, this is
Yeah, I try
made
not
me
to
to
dwell
think
on it
about
too
that. Yeah,
much because it's too disturbing. Without getting too graphic, Shrock, I think,
yeah,
and who knows, maybe the second one was quicker because he knew what he did on the first one, and he probably just forced the. Let's just leave it as that. He
yeah,
probably forced it
exactly. Forced
somehow,
in somehow. Yeah, exactly.
But I think when
Do
you're,
you think that
Mhm.
Chris have, if he would have been caught? Yeah, she said that's so graphic. Yeah, I know it is
Yeah,
kind of. Yeah, but
yeah.
you just think of where this guy's mind is at. Like, could he had any type of psychological or any type of issues?
Oh, she's saying he said he lowered them by the arms, but seemed unsure about it. Yeah, yeah, we're unsure too.
Yeah.
S-
Okay.
Try not to. Yeah,
Dwell on that.
we're not
Yeah.
trying to. Yeah, we're just trying to say the reason why we're mentioning it is it's all the time element and how
Exactly. That's
long
the
it would
reason why,
take,
because we said 4 minutes, and basically
and that
what
was
my
just a
is
guess. Yeah.
basically just stating that it would probably have to take more than four
Oh
minutes. Of
yeah,
course, you have to get graphic just to imagine, what goes into that.
yeah,
So it's just not really just trying to talk about the graphic area, just to talk about
yeah. How
the,
long it
the
would take?
time,
Yeah,
the
because he had to
time.
walk from the truck,
Mm-hmm.
walk the 100 feet, go up the stairs part,
Exactly.
undo the thing, put it in. Um, yeah. You know what reminds me of that they could have at least polygraph and yeah. Why they didn't do I forgot her name now. The female investigator. I don't why I keep forgetting her name. She was awesome. That
Yeah, that was a good point.
if she had a
I think he
chance,
was right when he said that he didn't kill those girls.
yeah.
I believe.
So what they're saying is that alluding to the fact that it was probably somebody else, like NK might have took care of the kids because he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
That's one theory. Because he said it like that. And that's a really
Mhm.
good, you guys would bring up excellent points and good
Yeah.
pieces of that, because yes, because he said it like that, that kind of, and here's another thing. I know I'm going a little off track, but it's related. I'm wondering too, as time goes on, you know, will Chris ever turn on NK at some point? Right now it's still
Yeah,
relatively
they asked that
new.
because he's
And I know he said he would take things to his grave, but let me tell you, time goes by and you never know.
CM said he was too nonchalant about the whole thing when he was questioned. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the questioning interview part was just kind of
And that female investigator, if she got her hands on NK, I'm sure there would be, inconsistencies. That was ridiculous. To not polygraph her, yeah,
yeah, that is
that doesn't make
interesting.
any sense. There was enough information to know that she was involved. I mean, it was obvious. I mean, if they even paid attention to their own investigation records, they would see how many times her statements didn't make sense.
Maybe they
That
wanted
blows
to
my mind.
polygraph her, and maybe because the father was in the room, he probably was like, "No,
Yeah.
no."
And in the court
So he
documents,
basically was probably guarding, the same. I want to make sure they don't do certain things.
I guess he was acting as quote unquote her
Yeah,
like lawyer.
well, yeah,
But
yeah.
what's really weird, Trock, I forgot to grab water,
Unless he's found.
is that what was really interesting is that it's probably procedure, but in the court documentation, they list him as like a witness. Like, they like say witness. Maybe they just did that because he had to be in the room. And if you're in the room, you have to be written down as a witness. They have him as listed as a witness. I'm like, really? I don't think so.
He says he's saved. Oh, okay. So he did say he's saved. Yeah.
But
So the
only the
truth
truth
will
set
set
you
you
free.
free.
Well, if he's truly saved, that's between him and God. And I tell you what, God knows his heart. So when
Yeah,
he
and
gets
usually
into the
when you're
next
saved,
world,
then he usually try to confess, right? Usually
yeah. But it
confessions,
was
but
very unprofessional. And we did another episode as to ways NK can go to jail. That was another one we did. Remember, we
oh
talked about those
yes,
different things. Maybe a new DA, or I'm still not convinced. I mean, it's still possible Chris could do something, but maybe not. But you never know. In his mind, he mentioned some things. I think it was to his family. I'm trying to remember. There's just so much information. Sometimes I forget where I heard it, but he's delusional. He thinks he's like gonna go free at some point, or maybe get his case redone. I don't know. Sometimes these guys, they just, I don't know. I don't know where their brains are. Oh, we're gonna do another episode, Chris Watts, in the next couple weeks. We just gotta get the information. I'll give you guys, because you joined the live chat. I'll give you a little preview, right, Shrock?
yeah,
Yeah, we gotta get these people. They did an awesome job of joining us and participating. Gotta give
yeah.
a little
We
something.
love it.
This is gonna be a good one because all the redacted documents is like almost 2,000 pages. Well, I can't believe all the interesting, weird stuff that I found in there, and I'm still going through it. I'm like, huh? So it's going to be titled something like Leathers, Feathers, and Photos. Oh my. And there's stuff about his
Oh
underwear.
yes.
This is weird, but we're still putting that show together. There's a lot of information. But let me tell you, some of the letters that are,
Let's see what this
and
one
I know,
says. Chris Watts wrote a book. Oh my
oh,
goodness.
yeah,
Yeah.
about rewritten scriptures.
Getting the money. Who-
Yeah. Yeah,
Who's
exactly.
getting the money?
Oh my God.
Yeah, he's like famous in prison right now.
I can't believe what the women are throwing. I mean, this is like days after he's in jail, right? It's not soon
Yes.
after. And these women, the notes are, and I know other channels have gone through the notes in detail. I'm going to take just some selected ones because there was a lot of pages. I was like, oh my goodness. And you can imagine the amount of mail he gets. He says he found God, yet he will take some things to a grave.
Yeah.
Means he won't divulge certain truths. I don't know what God he's praying to.
Exactly. What God is
Yeah.
he praying to? Cause yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Did you say it, Lucia? I don't know if I say it. I'm bad with names, so I apologize. I got a boring name, but let's see. I mean, I call Ezju's my nickname. That it's like a fond nickname from when I was a kid. But I hope I said that. Let's see
Yeah,
here.
some things he will take to
But
the
yeah,
grave.
that is funny, but it's so true. Yeah, I'm a
I
Christian. I
think he
believe in
said that
God.
too.
But by the way, I'm not going to really say. Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to think. What else do we cover? All your questions. Shiraka's is
Yeah.
awesome. She's got all
Yeah,
these
well, I have some
questions.
questions here as well.
Yeah, because there's a lot to this
Yeah, just
part.
say, what do you think if Chris would have gotten caught? Like, how would that be if he was?
Well, what I was really surprised, Shirak, and I want to see what you guys think, is that what really bothered me is this is a while ago, when I was going through all the documents, I heard the audio of it being read and I read it
Mhm.
from Melissa, Chad, and Troy, the three of them. And the way they described Chris really bothered me. It shows you what a nutcase Chris is. To be that composed and like goofing around. I mean, I think I mean, when he got done with all he was doing, it's almost like a weight lifted in his brain or something. And he was just like, looked fine, normal. And that
Yeah.
just shows you what warped is. I don't know anybody in their right mind. Well, of course, obviously that to be said, but that would
Yeah.
be like, I
I
mean,
want to
what
know what
kind
his
of,
coworkers think of
what?
him. What about his he's worked at this in
Yeah.
survey 319.
I
Like, what
think
about
they're
his
all
coworker?
shocked.
Like, I know they had to interview them as well. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, everybody say he was a lucky go guy, I guess.
Yeah,
Very
they said he
likable.
was likable.
But that's
And
interesting. How can you think someone in your job can be doing something like that? That's just something like, wow.
I want to ask the folks. Thanks for hanging in there. We'll still be on for a little bit. I have a question for you. I did an episode about a money motive, and just to let you know, Shirak and I did like a mock budget that Shanann and Chris would have,
Hmm.
and try to figure out what their monthly expenses would be. It was very very conservative. Like it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
And from what we can find out, even at her current rate of making the money at that job she was doing better. But even with that, she was averaging about 5,000. The family as a whole, 5,000 negative every year. So they're going deeper into debt
Yeah.
every year. And there were some life insurance policies, and Chris was trying to sell the house. So do you guys feel that that's like a strong secondary motive, or not really at all? It was really just based on NK? Or do you think that money motive was a close second because,
They were
maybe he
in debt.
bundled it together? He's thinking, okay, if I'm with NK, I can sell the house, I can get
Life
these
insurance
insurance policies,
policies. And they had a lot of
and
insurance policies.
maybe that would be another justification for I don't, there's no justification for the kids. I'm talking in his mind, just to have the whole family gone so he can get all the money and he could start this. It's almost like a restart. He's going to do his whole restart.
Yeah.
I was just curious, what you thought, but we did an episode on that because what we found was, based on his actions of trying to sell the house and, the life insurance policy that she supposedly still had from her first marriage,
Mhm.
which I think they said could be somewhere between 100,000, 250,000. So it's substantial. And then, of course, from the sale of the house, all the credit cards and all that stuff could have been paid off.
Yeah.
So anyhow, just a thought. Um, Still, obviously, not any good reason, but
But there's definitely not a good reason for
I
that.
was just
Yes.
curious if that was another motive. And it boggles my mind that NK is roaming around free. Oh, Leisha. Is that? I know our font is so small. I don't know why they don't allow the chat window to get like bigger. You see it?
Yeah. Yep.
I want to make sure I see it right.
Elisha. Like, yep.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for helping me pronounce it.
And
And I
appreciate your comment
appreciate it.
too.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let's see. How can I do the?
Vancouver, she's from. Wow.
That's awesome. Oop,
NK was there.
I do the heart. Is that heart?
Yeah. Nice.
I think it's a heart. I
Yeah.
meant to be a heart.
Uh-huh.
NK at least can live free.
What it says?
Yeah, NK can at least live. Oh, NK at least can't live freely. Yeah, she's kind of like hid. I don't know. That's a whole other
Yeah,
thing
they said,
too.
she changed her name. She probably changed her location where she lives.
And
She
then,
probably changed the state, you think, or
yeah, I was watching a episode with Zawoki a few weeks ago, and he was saying that they found out, yeah, that they don't think her name was changed. I don't know. All I know is she's not really out there in the open, but she has nothing to hide, guys. Right? She got nothing to hide. She told everybody, "I'm not involved. Leave Jim alone. I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go into semi hiding, whether it's official or not, and just
I mean, I would have a guilty conscience just having,
she knew something. I mean, that 111-minute phone call. I heard all these, and that's why I don't want to speculate. But it's fun to hear what people have to say. Meaning, it's interesting is probably the better word. To hear what people have to say, what they possibly could have talked about the 111-minute phone call.
Mhm.
But they weren't just talking about, you know, yeah, exactly why hide. Amber Fry came right out, right?
Yes, Amber
Oh,
Fry came out.
that's another one too. So obviously this is about Chris Watts. I
Scott
know
Peterson, yeah.
I know a lot of our subscribers are really into the Watts case, but the four we're covering right now are the Watts, obviously.
Suzanne Morphew.
Yeah, Suzanne Morphew. That one's creeping back up. That's going to be hot and heavy again. He's going to get charged
Scott
because
Peterson.
the Scott Peterson case that we just mentioned, because that was related to Amber Fry. That made me think of that.
Mhm.
That DNA testing is happening, and then yeah, the Jennifer Doolittle case in Connecticut. There's a lot of stuff going on there. This is where we're from. We're from Connecticut. So there's a lot of stuff going on there. NK is not that attractive. You know, yeah, Jody. I mean, she's not that attractive at all. I'm guessing he was attractive to her free spirit, maybe,
Yeah.
or maybe she was, because Shanann was gorgeous. She was a beautiful woman, and
Yeah.
maybe because NK was more submissive. I don't
Mhm.
want to go into too much
And what about
details there,
and on age,
but
he was like younger as well, probably, right?
she might have been a little bit younger, but I think because without she liked sex and she was submissive, meaning she would probably give it up a lot, and he found that exciting. It was still the honeymoon stage, and but you're
And
right, she wasn't
GM
that
is like,
attractive.
okay,
She was
yeah.
kind of plain Jane. I think you're right.
Right.
There should have been interviewed with detective. Yeah, she didn't handle. Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely didn't handle women the same as men.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah. So yeah, but so I think Chris and I love it when not to talk too much about other podcasters or other channels, but I love it when Sawoki says it because he goes, "Oh, Chris loved butt stuff." He always says like that, but I guess he was. I don't want to go too far into that, but just make a long story short, Chris and her were having fun exploring whatever they're
Yes.
doing, and that's leave it there. So that was probably exciting to him, and again, the free spirit. It seemed like she liked the outdoors. He liked the outdoors. But come on, he seemed like when he was in his mind with his wife, it looked like he was enjoying his life with his wife and kids too. So
Mhm.
I don't know what snapped. And then you get really off the beaten track, Shrock, when we talk about how we heard rumors that she's a witch and she put a spell. And I don't want to get into all that
Oh
stuff.
my goodness,
I'd
that's
rather stay.
crazy.
We stick more to the facts and stuff. But but there is something where a guy can get so and women too, obviously, but attracted to women where they're just like infatuated.
Yeah.
I love when he says that. Oh, yeah, you hear when he said when Sawookie says that. Yeah, that's funny. It makes me laugh all the time. Oh, and Chris and NK and on the butt stuff. Anyhow,
Yeah.
I'll drop that. Okay. Uh, isn't there a petition for the people to sign?
There
Yeah,
was,
there's a
yeah,
couple of them.
going around. I don't know.
And when we talked to a lawyer, unfortunately, we weren't able to get a lawyer live. I tried. I tried to find some criminal lawyers in that area of Colorado.
Right.
Got nothing. I have friends, by the way, I have friends who are marshals, state troopers, police officers, lawyers.
Mhm.
I have people around, and we talk about this stuff, So I have a lot of people in the criminal justice area, and we talk about this stuff all the time. And I was trying to get a judge, and my friend knew somebody, and I was trying to negotiate. And so, make a long story short, we just went on to this area, was able to
He asked
chat and
questions,
ask questions a
and they
little
did
more
responded.
honestly. And they respond, and they basically said it's a good thing to do to put pressure on the DA but it's
It
and
says DA. It says here the DA.
Roy, yeah, Rourke
Whoa.
won't ever allow it. He's in total denial, but yeah, because it's all about money. He's like, okay, I did it. It helped me with my reelection. It made me look good. It's
Mm-hmm.
done. Let's just please put it away. We don't need have time or money for that.
Yes.
Yeah, leave NK alone. She's a victim. What? Yeah, she's not a victim. He's just saying that because he doesn't want to have egg on his face if they reopen it, and he wants to look good. And
Yeah.
I don't think he's probably gonna get reelected, unfortunately. And talking with some of the lawyers through the chat I had, unfortunately, but I would still say like I signed those petitions, and I recommend you guys sign those petitions too. Definitely do that.
Yeah.
But
What's the status on that right now? It's still active,
oh,
but
there's like thousands. There's a few of them too, so
yeah.
it's hard for me to say any particular one. The one that Zawoki did,
I
there's like
think one of
thousands
them
on
you had
there,
to pay for.
and
You
then
have to pay for them, right?
oh, well, you didn't have to. You could donate.
Mm.
On one of them, you didn't have to. You could donate, and that helps get the word out and helps get other signatures. But at the end of the day, it's more. It's probably going to wind up being more symbolic than anything. And I hate to say that. I'm just relaying what I was told,
Mhm.
only because this DA is not really considering that pressure.
No.
The pressure would have to be mounted. The pressure would have to be so loud that could affect his position or his job.
Yeah.
And if he gets reelected, it'll be a while before this case gets taken up.
Yeah, that's
Trying to
crazy.
think what else about the survey. I'll be honest with you. The reason I did two episodes. One, like I said, I did initially. We did a pretty good job trying to get the information. The second one, I want to fill in the gaps with more credible information. But it
He had to
really
have taken
bothers
two
me.
people to dig Shanann's grave. Yeah, you see that?
Yeah, I had some people say to me, "Oh, Ed, oh, you could do that. It wasn't that deep of a grave. It was wide enough and deep enough, 27 inches roughly, right? And you have
Yeah.
to fill the hole. You go out there with a shovel and you try to dig that. And if you're digging really fast, you're going to be sweating your brains out, okay?
Mhm.
It was cooler in the morning, but it's still relatively warm. And I agree. I think it either took two people or somebody prepped it ahead of time. And I know you guys may not be familiar with the Jennifer Douglas case because obviously that's really big in Connecticut. I don't know if it is in the United States, but there was this guy who was friends with the guy Fotis, who's
Yeah,
the
the
one that
attorney.
the attorney. Make a long story short, they found a hole that they think he was the one that dug. Like it was already ready to go. Had lime,
But
and lime kind of helps dissolve the body and hides the smell.
yeah, soak the
It was
body.
all set and ready to go. So I'm just saying this is a different case, obviously, but most likely, why not have the hole pre-dug? And it may not have been by Chris. It could have been like from
Yeah.
somebody. It ain't even been but from NK. Who knows? It could be like, hey, I dug the hole. It's 100 feet from what's it called? I forgot the name of it. I apologize. But and there you go. And because if the hole's already dug, that's how I can see this meeting the timeline,
Mhm.
because filling the hole probably only took about 10 minutes or so. And he at least would have had enough time, those 20 minutes on those other things, and he wouldn't be so stressed out. But I want to make sure I get all your
Yeah,
questions.
those are all done.
Okay. How about anyone on the chat? Do you guys have any more questions for us on this topic, Survey 319? I love the other points you guys mentioned on the
And thank
case.
your
That's
viewers for
excellent.
watching us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, that's why we do this. We want it to be, yeah, we love doing our shows, but we like to have the interaction
Yeah, we
with you
like to see
guys.
what you're thinking. You have a lot of information to give us too. A lot of
Yeah, I mean, we've heard a lot of information, but there's just so much, and I love it when you guys put your perspectives in there because it's good to bring that in there. And where I can too, I'll go back like I did to those other shows that we've done. If there's information, pull it up along the way.
yeah.
Let's just I know there's a little bit of delay between real time and the stream. So
Yes.
I'll give a chance for anybody to ask any more questions or comments, and then we will wrap up.
It's really
There's also a video where he backs his truck.
oh yeah.
A second shadow person.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh
yeah,
yeah, we talk
yeah.
about that, the shadow person. You know
Yeah, yep. I see that. So,
Way back.
so there's a yeah that. Oh, I thank you. Thanks so much. I really appreciate all the love there. That's
Oh, thank you.
awesome.
We
Yeah,
appreciate you
and
guys.
we're gonna get better. We're still new. I mean, we always think that from 6 months to a year, it's definitely like our early stages doing homework.
Thank you guys.
We want to make sure we get more content. Yes, and get we're gonna get better, better and better, and you guys will help us get better, so we can give a better content to you guys. So, as far as the shadow, yeah, there is one part of it where I can't make out what it is at all. But
Yeah.
I did debunk one piece of it. There's one that says, "Oh, that's not Chris. Look at his boots." And I was able. It was an old episode I did a while back, but I
Yeah.
did it where you could see it's definitely a heel because somebody said it was UGG boots, and you could definitely tell that he switched his from sneakers to shoes. And there's one part you could really tell it was him in both cases. Somebody said, "Oh, it looks like it was a chest." No, that just says when he was walking. It's so grainy. It almost reminds me of the Bigfoot video. It's hard to see, but there's really not enough evidence in that particular frame. However, there was a shadow. There was something that's kind of inconclusive and driving me nuts. I wish we had the technology to really see the detail.
Exactly.
So I really don't know. That's inconclusive to me. There was this one particular part that I was able to say, nah, that's still Chris. I think it was pretty
I
obvious.
know with all of the technology they have now, you would think that would be something more crisp that people can view and see. And
Yeah.
but it's
And to drag the body there to that specific spot, yeah, because you're doing. I mean, I don't mean to use this word,
yeah,
but they call it like dead weight, meaning the person's not helping you along. You just, it's very hard. I would think. I know how it is when I'm trying to pick up some heavy bags or
hmm
something big and that's kind of bulky and it's loosey goosey, but it's heavy.
right. How
Trying to
much she
pick it
weighed?
up,
About a
it's
hundred and
hard.
what? 150 pounds, and then she's
Yeah, probably
pregnant.
maybe 130, 150. Remember, she's pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
She wasn't a big lady, but she wasn't small either. Meaning, I don't mean that in any negative way. It's just,
Yes, she is.
meaning she wasn't like 4'10". I mean, she was, a regular size.
Yeah.
And I mean, now he's muscular and stuff, but nobody's helping you. So, like, you're right. You'd have to either pick up or drag, and that's gonna take more than a minute or two.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then I don't want to talk about what happened there.
It was.
Oh, you're a mortician?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's not
wow.
easy. See, it's not easy to lift a
All
body.
right,
Oh
Jody.
my
Yeah.
goodness. You see?
Yeah.
There's proof
Thank
right
you.
there.
Thank you for that's see, this is where I love it. This is why I love
Mm-hmm.
the community because
Thanks for
you can
clarifying
bring
that
in your
for
guys'
us.
insights. I
So
love
it's
that.
not easy to lift a body, especially
Yeah.
a dead body. Because I'm with. Oh my goodness,
And we did one episode. We don't do too many
that's
reaction
interesting.
videos. Once in a while we might do one. We're more try to talk about the topics in more detail. But there is one I've been kicking the can. We recorded it a while ago, but it's supposed to be due out a few weeks. It deals with Nancy Grace. It was a reaction to no, I'm sorry, it was Dr. Oz, but Nancy Grace is on there. And she gets into really detail about that part of it. And I even have a warning on there because it gets a little too graphic for our taste. But it talks about, having to do with those bodies and moving it and the after effects. And I won't go into it more. She had extra,
Baby weight
yeah,
too.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
so it
see,
would have been very hard for
yeah,
him
extra
to.
baby weight.
You're not going
Yeah,
to carry. Okay. If it takes 38 seconds to walk from one, if you're not running, of course, if you're walking normal, and imagine either lifting or carrying, it's going to take more than a minute. That's why my numbers were just purposefully really conservative. Because if I hate when people say, "Well, he could have done everything in 44 minutes, prove it," or "so many minutes, prove it." So and to get in front of that, I'm like, okay, let's think about this. We know he did a text message. We know he did the picture. We know he had to get some kind of tool out of the truck. We knew he had to walk there. Okay, we know how long he had to walk. We know how long going by what he said,
it
how
says
long it
the
took to
infant.
it.
And what did they say?
Yeah, the infant and the
Mhm.
fluid.
Yeah,
Yeah, just wait. But we knew, like, there's things he walked from the truck to the spot, had to bring the tool,
yeah,
had to bring the body, had to walk here, had to walk there. So we know those minimums. So we can put it, and it doesn't make any sense.
right.
Yeah, lifting Shannon into, yeah. And that's where it goes back to the shadow and back to Was there somebody there that morning helping? And of course, the DA says, and this is weird. DA Rourke said, she wasn't there that morning. Leave her alone. How do you know? But he doesn't say how they know that, right?
Yeah.
They'll get me started on that. That'll be another 15 minutes. And I don't mean to be like that. They just did such a really poor job. And unfortunately, Shirok and I can tell you, outside of the Watts case, this is not the only department where we're seeing this. We see in other cases where they just want to get the case wrapped up as soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
They don't, whether it be for budgetary, for votes, for whatever reasons, they just want to wrap things up. And we see that with other cases as well. So it's a shame. It's a shame. But anyhow, thank you guys so much for joining us. This is only like really technically our second real live stream. We did a test one a while back, just out of the blue.
Yeah, but thank you guys.
Thank you guys so much. And
we'll definitely keep you posted for the other ones that's coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. And even if you love the Watts case only, definitely hang with us on some of these other cases. They're really cool. I mean, when I say they're really cool, meaning if you find things really interesting and to challenge your mind, and some of the things, because some of these cases are very related. Like Suzanne Morphew didn't get justice because the killer, and we can go on and about, but Barry's still out there. With Jennifer Dulos, same thing. The family hasn't gotten their justice. She's still missing. Lacey and Scott Peterson, it's a little different. They got their justice, but there's a lot of interesting things happening there in terms of the DNA. So if you like that science behind things and that analysis and those things, check out those. Even if we do live streams on those other ones, check us out. But we'll definitely have more Chris Watts live streams before.
We have a couple. Yeah, we have Beef Nick as well, but we only did one.
Yeah, that one was more of just one off. But those are the 4 cases we're covering right now.
Mm-hmm.
But the Home Depot needs a retrial. Oh, I vaguely know that one, but I have to check that one out, Jody. Yeah. There's a lot, and that's why it's interesting with the Lacey Peterson one, because Scott is getting the LA project involved, which they're basically they try to find people that have been wrongly convicted, and they have a 43% success rate. It really is almost like 50-50, because if you take out the 15% that is inconclusive, it really is like almost 50-50, but they're involved with the Peterson case.
But thank you guys as well.
Yeah,
we actually are so awesome. You're so awesome listening to us, and we're getting a lot of great feedback from you guys, and we want you to stay tuned. But this is always going to be on a Tuesday at 7:30.
Yep, we're always going to do one.
Time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Different shows,
different topics, but we'll rotate. So at least once a month there'll probably be at least a Chris Watts one, if you just specifically like that one. But next time will probably be.
And thank you all the ones that's being members and the ones that's being subscribers. We appreciate that as well.
Yeah, haven't subscribed, please go ahead and do so. Keep up with the latest, and until next time, we'll see you in episode. Oh, wait, one quick thing. Let's tell them what episodes come out this week. Oh, on Thursday, it's going to be about Lacey Peterson case. Was she walking that dog that morning? Because there's a long story on that. You have to check it out. But basically, 5 people say they swear saw her walking the dog, but one person said that she saw the dog loose, and you got to hear all of it. But that's coming out Thursday. There'll be more other stuff coming up too. All right, guys.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you so much.
Studio
Next
7.
time.